Everybody, and welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday podcast, coming to you from the northern part of Alabama, Lookout Mountain, kind of right where Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama meet. We're live on Facebook and live on TikTok. If you want to join us on TikTok, TikTok is a better color stream because I don't know what's up with my camera, but it is whitewashed. Like it can't handle light, so I'll probably have a new uh webcam by the next time we do this, but it's okay. Uh, got a lot of stuff to do today. I need to finish my week of camp here in Alabama and then head on down to North Carolina. So we're gonna jump right into everything and hit some news and move on with our morning. But good morning, everybody. I hope y'all have a great weekend, holiday weekend for you American folks, and I guess not a holiday weekend for Tristan and anybody else that listens in somewhere else. All right, so let's hit some news. First off, uh, gospel singer Kirk Franklin had to be restrained by multiple security guards this week as a street preacher who self-titles himself as the Sin Police told Kirk Franklin and his wife that they were both going to hell um, over some stuff that Kirk Franklin did at the BET Awards back in 2022. And Kirk was visibly angry and shaking to the point with anger, and several very well paid, I'm assuming bodyguards, kept Kirk from making contact. Um, but it's a really tense interaction if you care to see it. But this happened in Philadelphia, and it was not a smooth scenario. Well, thank you for all the likes. But yeah, that's a I if you I don't know many people who've come across from interaction with an aggressive street preacher and just came out encouraged. But when you've got one of the biggest gospel singers in history ready to literally throw hands, that's a whole different level. Uh, Singer Chris Brown has been ordered to pay $13 million to his former housekeeper after she was mauled by a dog in his home. And with that, yeah, his housekeeper got attacked, and there was supposed to be some liability thing that it wasn't his fault. It didn't go that way, and now he has to pay $13 million. Tristan, good morning, dude. Um, but yeah, I mean, 13 million is a lot for a mauling. I'm not saying that she shouldn't get compensated, but like I've seen wrongful deaths and stuff get less than 13 million. But I guess congratulations. I don't know what to say to that. Um, the biggest news story probably of the week is the two masked climbers who uh scaled the Empire State Building and unfurled a banner that said a message of love and peace. I know I've got it in the notes. It says, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." Um, and with that, these two scaled the Empire State Building, and then before departing the Empire State Building, the one dude knelt down and proposed, and she accepted. And then they were promptly arrested and then promptly set free. I don't know that I'm sure there's going to be like lasting legal ramifications that come from this, but I'd say the most current affecting ramifications that's come from this is the fact that everybody and their mom is making memes of it, and businesses are using it to sell stuff, and kind of lame. Um, and like there's so many businesses and advertising people who are using like the banner on the Empire State Building thing, and I get it. We jump while the iron's hot. Um, and I I had personal beef with one, or at least a personal interest beef with one, um, where author Donald Miller, who is one of my favorite authors, uh, posted. a meme of those things and with a thing that says you don't have to have dramatic actions to get your message across. And then he started using it as an advertising it for his branding corporation. And I'm like, dude, three of your biggest books of all time were you climbing the Grand Canyon, you climbing mountains, and you riding your bike across the country. Don't do this. You literally made your foundational wealth off of writing books of big adventures. So it's like, don't do that, sir. No, okay. But it happened. It worked well. Nobody died. So, um, yeah. One of the big things that also has been in the world of TikTok and faith and just culture, one of the biggest TikTok names and tarot names was a young lady whose account was Alex Reed Tarot, who would read tarot cards. And she recently announced that she was stopping that, that she had found Christ and that she was just not about that life anymore, which came to a big shock to a lot of her viewers and cost her about, I want to say it was 30,000 subscribers, viewers, if likes, follows, whatever, within minutes of that posting and more that followed. And to the point that Haley Williams has already had to change lyrics to her songs because she had a lyric um, in the song from 2025 called Love Me Different. The lyrics originally read, Alex Reed Tarot reads the poop out of me. And she's had to change the lyrics now that Alex no longer reads tarot. Um, and she actually added another line to the song as well, mourning the loss of Alex reading tarot. So it's a cultural thing, seeing how it plays out. Forrest Frank is now considered one of the world's biggest touring artists. Concert data shows that he is outperforming or performing at bigger arenas with bigger crowds than most other touring artists, including like Jelly Roll and other folks who are touring in arenas right now. Post Malone, Jelly Roll, that he's outselling and outperforming them in those ways. Gene Wilder's voice will be resurrected and used for a new Netflix Willy Wonka competition series uh, by AI that Netflix will be doing. Netflix will be hosting a Willy Wonka style baking competition, and Gene Wilder's wife gave permission for his voice to be used via AI for the series. And that's another thing that's going to be gross and creepy to hear. A live action series based on Persona is coming to Netflix. The people who were responsible for some of Stranger Things will be part of the series. But yeah, that's coming if you are a fan of Persona. If John Cena has sported a freshly shaven head for round two of his FUE hair transfer treatments with Dr. Ken Anderson for the Center of Hair. It's just a weird thing. You know, he's been really public about his hair transplant process because he's tired of wrestling fans making fun of his baldness. But he's on round two of it. Lecrae won the Best Gospel slash Inspirational Award for the 2026 BET Awards for his song Headphones featuring Killer Mike, GTO, and this is his fourth BET win. He won in 2015 for Best Gospel Artist, 2017 for Best Gospel slash Inspirational for Can't Stop Me Now. In 2018, he won for Best Gospel and Inspirational for Till I Find You with Tori Kelly. So it's another line for him. Ford had laid off a large number of workers uh, and replaced them with AI. Ford has had to hire those workers back. because AI has failed to match their skills and experience with when it came to car assembly and production. So good. Um, Harry Styles had a literal crash out during his concert this past week as the singer choked on water during one of the moments within his concert. Apparently, part one of his staples is doing a Triple H style whale water spout thing, and he choked on water and hit the ground while performing, and he's fine. But yeah, uh, David Corn Sweat, the actor who plays Superman, stepped in on the red carpet this week to literally save Supergirl as a photographer was getting handsy and touching her without permission on the Supergirl red carpet. Um, so yeah, that's a whole thing. Good job being Superman. Mexico is dealing with their own literal Batman. As a man in a Batman costume uh, is literally capturing criminals and tying them up with duct tape to poles and leaving notes and evidence for the police to find. Uh, this is the Batman of Lagos de Moreno. I'm so bad at being Hispanic. I'm sorry. Lagos de Moreno. Uh, but there's been more than a dozen cases where the Batman of this region has stopped, specifically been targeting motorcycle thieves and bike thieves and duct taping them with notes to poles. And you can see some of the footage of this. It's pretty hilarious, but also kind of cool. Um, yeah, the Batman of Lagos de Moreno. It's been pretty neat. One Piece season 3 has officially wrapped for Netflix with the Alabasta arc. So that is done for filming. Yes, for filming the Alabasta arc. The Presbyterian Tristan says, no, 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 tape, man. Um, Good morning, Ashley. Uh, yeah. Oh, thank you for the stuff. Uh, an aircraft crashed into Beijing's tallest skyscraper last Friday afternoon, triggering an emergency evacuation of the China Zun skyscraper. It's one of the tallest buildings one of the top 10 tallest buildings in the world. And like unlike the Twin Towers or anything like that, this plane just literally bounced off and dropped. Um, but it wasn't a huge casualty scenario. How are you doing today? But yeah, let's see. If you weren't aware, last week PlayStation announced that they are going to be deleting more than 500 movies from customers' accounts that customers have paid for with no refunds. That includes films like Terminator, Terminator 2, Rambo, Hot Fuzz, Apocalypse Now, Moonlight, and a bunch of other things that basically, if you bought a movie on the PlayStation Store, Sony says, no, you didn't. You don't own that movie, and we're taking it back. That was last week's news. This week's news is the fact that PlayStation has announced that by 2028, they will no longer make game discs. So that there will be no physical video games made by PlayStation in 2028 on. And it will cue the end of physical media with most game companies, as assuming Xbox will be following suit with that. Uh, People aren't happy. I mean, I'm a big physical media person myself, and I'm not a big fan of that concept. The Presbyterian Church of the USA has lost 27,000, had the membership has dropped by 27,000, and has lost 128 churches. Um, yeah, just in 2025. If you missed it at Night of Champions, Sami Zayn won the WWE. Uh, Undisputed Championship. Congratulations, Sami Zayn. So you can finally check that box. If you're a fan of classic horror, comedy, or awkward things, Dark Shadows will be returning as an animated series from Warner Brothers. Um, that could be interesting. Millie Bobby Brown, who is 11 in Stranger Things, and David Hopper from Stranger Things, will be returning in a new series where they play father and daughter once again. The series will focus around a disgraced FBI agent who is forced back into the field when his daughter um, shows up on his footsteps and goes vanishing on a mission. So, 11's a spy, Hopper's an old spy, and he has to save 11. The end. An 11-year-old boy in Rumaja, Makdan, um, drove a pickup truck into a procession of Thai monks, ended up killing 9 people in the process. It was terrible. Uh, Moana 3 is officially in development at Disney, according to The Rock. Um, I don't know that we need a Moana 3. I didn't watch Moana 2. And yep, there we go. California is uh, discussing and planning to remove the sell by label on food and other packaging to help the environment so that people aren't so quick to throw things away. There are 6 other states who are looking into similar legislature. Um, a California bill was proposed this past week that if you paid for a video game, then the people who made the video game had to maintain online content availability so you could keep playing it. That bill failed. Um, Tristan says we don't need Toy Story 5, but here we are. Dude, I don't know if I've seen past Toy Story 1. Not completely. Um, so yeah. Uh, Xbox's next system, which is labeled as Project Helix, reportedly also won't have a disk drive at all, lending to the same concept of eliminating physical media. Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced former film producer, suffered heart failure in prison, and is still being treated for that. Um, like I mentioned, that people were using the Empire State Building stuff as a way for advertising. Um, the Empire State Building themselves have been using it for good tourist marketing, um, with a picture of a woman holding out an engagement ring over the Empire State perspective. And it says, ladies, if he wanted to, he would, just maybe on our 86th floor observation deck. So Empire State Building is actually using this for their own promotion, which is smart. Mayor Mamdani of New York has asked New Yorkers to set their AC to 78 degrees to help maintain uh, power and such in New York. Lil Wayne was a no-show to the opening night of his own tour, with the new tour 20 Years of Carter Classics in Maine, and where Two Chains was opening, and then there was a DJ, and then Lil Wayne just didn't show up. Uh, Domino's put out a statement mocking PlayStation with their physical disc announcement. Domino's Pizza of the UK says in response to trends in the gaming industry as of April 1st, 2027, Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to production of digital pizzas only, and went on to troll them with zero remorse. Um, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding is heading to Madison Square Garden. And ahead of the wedding, um, Taylor and Travis both donated $26 million to charities in the region, mostly food banks, food closets, and things like that that help feed people in need. You can see a whole list of all the things they donated to, and as well as children's hospitals and stuff like that. But they dropped a $26 million charitable donation uh, for these things, which is pretty cool. Uh, if you're in my region, Bladen County Hospital, Cape Fear Valley Health's Bladen County Hospital has laid off 200 positions at the local hospital. I think that might be my news. Let's double check. That could be. I don't think I saw anything that wasn't there. No, there's some stuff that I missed. That's okay. We'll hit that. Four people died in Mexico City while celebrating the World Cup win, which is terrible. Um, LeBron James has announced that he will play for a 20 he will play a 24th NBA season, but he will be playing it for a different team other than Los Angeles. He has not announced what team he'll be playing for yet, but he will be playing for a team other than Los Angeles, and he's going to look for a new team, and he will be playing elsewhere, and that the franchise can move on without him. The Supreme Court officially rejected President Trump to end birthright citizenship. Also, the Supreme Court had a 6-3 vote that um, transgender athletes could not compete in women's sports. GTA 6 reportedly sold 39 million copies and made around $3 billion within its first 24 hours of pre-sales. Uh, Jelly Roll promised a dedicated fan. There's a lady that had been to several of Jelly Roll's tours over the past season, and Jelly Roll called her out on stage at his most recent performance and says, make sure this woman never has to buy a ticket for the rest of her life. So, to be trusted, Jelly Roll is now officially offering this woman free tickets for life. McDonald's will be giving out free French fries, air quotes, free French fries for National Friday, which is on July 10th, as long as you buy something for $1. But you can do that through the app. And that may be all the news. Yeah, that's all our news. I didn't bring dice with me because I had a whole carload of other stuff to do and didn't really have time for that. So I'm just going to read a scripture that I've been kind of teaching on this week while I've been here in Alabama. And it's going to be Second Corinthians 5. And I'm just going to read that. And Second Corinthians 5 says, "For we know that if this earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. Meanwhile, we groan, longing to be clothed, instead, not long, sorry, longing to be clothed instead with our heavenly dwelling, because when we are clothed, we will not be found naked. For while we are in this tent, we groan and are burdened because we do not wish to be unclothed, but to be clothed instead with our heavenly dwelling, so that what is mortal may be swallowed up by life. Now, the one who has fashioned us for this very purpose is God, who has given us the Spirit as a deposit, guaranteeing what is to come. Therefore, we are always confident and know that as long as we are at home in this body, we are away from the Lord, for we live by faith, not by sight. We are confident, I say, and would prefer to be away from the body and home with the Lord. So we make it our goal to please Him, whether we are home in the body or away from it. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each of us may receive what is due us for the things done while in the body, whether good or bad. Since then, we know what it is to fear the Lord. We try to persuade others. We are what we are is plain to God, and I hope it is plain to your conscience. We are not trying to commend ourselves to you again, but are giving you an opportunity to take pride in us so that you can answer those who take pride in what is seen rather who answer those who take pride in what is seen rather than in what is in the heart. If we are out of our mind, as some may say, it is for God. If we are in our right mind, it is for you. For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and that all, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. So from now on, we know we so from now on we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old is gone and the new is here. All this is from God, who has reconciled us to himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them, and has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. And that last part is the part really been focusing on just in that we've been given a message of reconciliation, a ministry of reconciliation, and the whole heart of everything is to be reconciled to God. So let's just kind of sharing with that. Want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters. Notifications. Pioneer. Oh, I gotta do something there. Okay, that's not a now conversation. Take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters: Lance James, Zach T, Roshan John, Ryan Felton, Jessica Luttrell, who's made a really dope Sully cosplay from Monsters Inc. Jackie Kraft, Kelly Townsend, Alan Wallace, Fab Quack, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dot Winston, Michelle Stewart, Lynn Turner, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Gear Saber Cosplay, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all. Um, no, I don't. I'm sadly an only child. Um, but thank you all for supporting the way you do and encouraging all the ways that you are. Literally couldn't do a lot of what we're doing without you and Patreon supporters. Once I'm back in North Carolina, I'm recording a podcast just for y'all because I got a lot of stuff I want to share with y'all. So make sure you check that out. But thank y'all for taking the time to listen, to encourage, for being all that you are. Gonna close with our goodbye verse. Always read. And then if you want to hang out while I'm processing this, I'm gonna be hanging out on uh TikTok on our TikTok channel while we're editing and processing. So um and listening to all right, John, I will do. And I got stuff for you too, man. Um and let's see. By the way, the new Switchfoot album and the new Magic and Bird albums were both fantastic. Just throw that out there. Right. Uh, Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. Thank y'all for taking time to listen, and I hope to see you all at a con real soon.